Are you having fret buzz issues on your D and G strings on your Les Paul? I might have a solution for you. So a few months back, I bought this wonderful, very toured, what turned out to be a 2012 Maduro Les Paul Custom with a rosewood board. And while it may look initially black, this is not black. This is kind of an ox blood, real dark brown color. And I just love this guitar. However, recently, after, I don't know, it's been a couple of string changes over the last couple of months of playing this guitar, I've had some developing, I don't know, buzz issues, specifically on the D and G strings. Now, I have heard the term bridge collapse for many years, but wasn't really specifically sure what that actually was. I've heard Mike Hickey refer to it on a Joe Bonamassa rig rundown on one of his old 59 burst Les Pauls. I've heard friends talk about it in passing. Really wasn't sure what it was. I Googled it, checked my guitar. Wow, yeah, I had a collapsing bridge on my Les Paul. So what is a collapsing bridge? Well, this is the original bridge that came on this guitar as I have replaced the bridge. Over time on a Tuneomatic bridge, you will get bridge sag, meaning the apex of the saddles will start to lower. The bridge itself will slowly, over time, start to kind of cave in. It will start to collapse. Now, effectively, what this is doing is it's changing the string radius in relation to the radius of the fretboard, making your D and G strings specifically closer to the fretboard, which is causing me issues. Also, you know, this guitar has spent its entire life being on tour, and a few of my saddles were in really bad shape, so it was honestly time for a bridge replacement anyway. However, I had a collapsed bridge and I had no idea. Let's dive into specifically how to check for bridge collapse. So once you have your strings off of your Tuneomatic style guitar, you can simply run something that you know is straight, a metal ruler, or in this case, a string action guide from StewMac, and you simply run it on and set it on the top of the bridge, and you're gonna look for a gap in the middle of the bridge housing. You shouldn't see a gap. This actually should be a straight, nice line. And if you have some sag, you will kind of see through it. I'll put some pictures up here. This is my bridge, this one. And it was sagging quite a bit. It may not look like a ton, but it was actually sagging quite a bit. And interestingly enough, it's actually started to sag and move forward and kind of twist a little bit because the sag on the back of the bridge is not as severe as it is on the front. Very interesting. Now, before you keyboard warriors start bombing the comment section of, oh, how Gibson is garbage, blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, I guess you could attribute a little bit, traditionally speaking, to the metallurgy that Gibson uses for their bridges, but honestly, the determining factor of bridge collapse is your string gauge and your tailpiece setting, meaning your break angle on the angle of your strings coming off your stop tailpiece onto your bridge, the amount of downforce that you have on your guitar is gonna really be the determining factor over time for how your bridge behaves and in relation to its potential collapse. This guitar specifically, I know spent its life tuned to C standard with like 13s on it for most of its life. And when I got it, the bridge was the tailpiece was all the way down to the body, and it was a lot of downforce. I personally have this in drop C sharp, but I still use 12 to 56 gauge strings, very heavy, because I like that amount of tension. However, I also had the tailpiece cranked down pretty far when I really didn't need to, and that didn't help the collapsing bridge at all. Now, some eras of Gibson Les Paul suffer from this more than others. However, any Tuneomatic design could potentially face collapse. That's probably a huge reason why the current modern day production Gibson Les Paul standards use Tone Pros hardware, because that's what I ended up changing out on my Gibson Les Paul. This is just a Tone Pros replacement bridge, and it sounds great and works great and dropped right in with no issues at all. So there you go. If you own a Gibson Les Paul style guitar, an ESP, LTD, something like that, and if you're having issues, definitely check for a collapsing bridge. I thought that was really, really interesting, and it's more prevalent and common than we think, but normally people don't think to check if their bridge is slowly caving in like a, I don't know, like a wet noodle. I don't know. I will link down below in the description to a really great article written by Haze Guitars. They actually have a few remedies to either fix your bridge or to just replace it. However, they detail a jig that they put in a vise to bend the bridge back, which I don't know if I would personally do. However, lots of useful info courtesy of Haze Guitars. I will link down below in the description if you want to read up more on Tuneomatic bridge claps. And with that, fluff out. If you liked the video you just watched, please consider subscribing. And if you want to further support me and what I do, consider using some of the affiliate links down below in the description of this video. Go on over to Sweetwater, buy yourself something, and help me out at the same time. It's a win-win for both of us.